But now we're moving into the second semi-final, and we're going to see some interesting teams in this one, gentlemen. Talk us through these ones.
Well, I think with Soaring as well, you've got 4 really talented individual players, but we've seen him in some scrims against Vexed, and it looks like the slaying ability's there, but they seem to separate themselves a lot, and I don't think coordination-wise they're not working back great.
Quickly talk us through the lineup. Who's actually on these two teams for the people at home? For the good people at home.
For the good people.
Not the bad ones.
Well, with Soaring, you've got SLG, who's come from Supremacy, and you've got Custola, Snakey, and Morgan. And you'll see most of those players are the kind of players where you've got 4 main slayers in one team. But, you know, the problem is how well will they gel together? You know, this could be the first time they've teamed together in the 2K tournament. But I think they did have Jimbo previously, if I remember, in the last 2K.
Correct.
But now we're going to see how well they'll actually play going forward, because I've seen a few scrims. I've seen they have taken some games off Vexed, but there's a lot of times where they're kind of doing, you know, kind of trying to play the hero a little bit and try not to help themselves as much. But, you know, they haven't been around for that long. They've only been around for a few days. So, you know, things will happen in time.
On the other side of things, we've got, I mean, you just know it. You just know it's a Rammy team, mate, doesn't it? It's DROUGHT.
For those of you wondering where 2Foxy went after the Infused saga, guess what? He's landed up with his old teammate, Ramirez, alongside Flux and Batchford on DROUGHT.
Big
3.
Boy Batchford.
Big Daddy Batch.
Batch Dog.
B-Man.
The B.
The B-Boy.
Ryan Bachelor.
Ryan.
Batchford. Batchford, that's the one, yep. I mean, take your pick. There's a lot, you know.
I wish he would invite me so I could get in the lobby to observe.
Well, let's try our best to see if we can make that happen.
Batchford, invite me.
Wonder Boy.
Invite me.
B-Dog.
Everyone message, not massage. Everyone message Batchford.
Yeah,
Don't
go on his case.
Okay.
But we're going to try and get into that lobby as quickly as we can. It will be the same rotation of game types as the last semi-final because, of course, it's another semi-final. So we're going to see the same game types as we just saw from the Infused Vexed series. So expect to start off with some more Capture the Flag on Fathom, gentlemen. Let's talk a little bit about these two teams, how they've come together. As you say, 2Foxy coming back to Halo now after a little bit of a holiday elsewhere. Yep. Now he's back and he's playing pretty well, you have to say.
He was playing pretty well. Didn't gel on the Infused lineup. I think given a month or two, him on that lineup, on that Infused lineup, had a lot of upside. But the problem is, you don't have months in this Halo WC competition. Orlando is less than a month away now, right? So you can't really give him that amount of time. So it made sense to go back to Jimbo on the Infused lineup. But 2Foxy, yeah, when he gets going, he is one of the strongest play calling and slaying combos in the game, in my opinion. But what's very interesting on this particular lineup, we have 2 other play caller / slayers in there. We have Flux, who in the past on previous Infused lineups back when they were going up against Fabi, he was one of those players who is pretty much the counterpart to 2Foxy. So 2 very similar players on that lineup. So yeah, it's a strange one. I don't know how this one is going to go down. You have the slaying power of Batchford and Flux, 2Foxy and Rammy calling plays. We'll see. We'll see how it goes down.
I think what you're trying to point out is the fact that with that DROUGHT team, you kind of got like
DROUGHT.
3 in-game DROUGHTs.
Yeah, we don't call him Fused. Infused. He's a DROUGHT. Let's get it right.
You're not calling Fused.
Well, you've got 3 in-game leaders or 3, you know, tacticians, you could say, on that team. So it's kind of like, you know, how will things go? Because I know 2Foxy, even with the Infused lineup, even recently when he was on it and then came off it very briefly, they were constantly, he was the one shot calling all the time. But because you've got 3, you're going to see, it's going to be like similar to the XL lineup from the last event, where is there too many in-game leaders or shot callers to actually make a decision? So.
Well, one of the interesting things for me looking at this lineup is actually how it might actually help some of the players. I want to talk a little bit about Ramirez. Actually had the pleasure of going to film some content with him last week. And
spoilers.
He was talking about, I didn't say for Halo.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And he was talking a little bit about how, you know, he's looked at himself a little bit and, you know, wants to concentrate on his individual game. Now, he's known as one of those very vocal leaders on every single squad he's been on. The flip side of maybe having Flux and 2Foxy on that team, maybe he can take some of that responsibility can actually be taken away from him, and he can concentrate more on his individual game.
And if that's the case, that's very exciting, because how many times in the past have we seen Ramirez make very clutch plays in games where stat line-wise he's not been the best? I remember countless times on Coliseum where he's either been the man making the clutchest kill in the game to kill the flag carrier, or just being one of those players who runs at elbow and saves his team's bacon and gives them another respawn to work with. If he gets his individual game down, he could be a very scary player. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if working with Flux and 2Foxy on this team will help him improve his individual
I
performance.
think it's what you said as well, exactly, with Rami, because with him, he's always had to be an in-game leader, so he's always had to sacrifice that slaying power on every single team he's had to be on, which is a shame, because we know Rami's got that slaying power. It's just the fact that he had to focus on more shot calling and being the decision-maker for the team, rather than have to go around like that. So I think now that he's got 2 Foxy and he's got Flux, hopefully those two can kind of take the weight off the shoulders for the shot calling, so we'll have to see what happens from here.
Yeah, the game is loading in the background, so we're only a few moments from getting underway in this second semi-final. It's going to be Fathom Capture the Flag that we are going into as our game number 1. One player I really want to keep on my eye on here is a player who's kind of burst through that bubble a little bit, and that is Morga.
Yes.
Morga is a hell of a individually skilled player, obviously from the Netherlands, and he had a fantastic performance back at HCS London in the FFA. Not only that, but in team-based play as well as part of that team endpoint. So I'd actually like to start this one off with Morga and see what he's added to his game and see if he can step up to the next level.
Absolutely do not blame you. Morga is the next superstar of Halo. You know he didn't play a single Halo before Halo 5.
Wow.
Yeah, he started out in Halo 5.
Factoids.
So we'll start this one off with my good friend Pete. He finds himself alongside Crisola, SLG, and Snakey, who have all found somewhat success in Europe in the past. So he has big shoes to fill on this lineup, and you can see 2 Foxy already doing 2 Foxy things. He's been waiting a while to play this semi-final, and look, he's already playing straight down the throat of the enemy team. This is a lovely return, though, coming in from Snakey.
Yeah, Snakey does have the railgun, I believe, as well. So immediately aggressive plays coming in from 2 Foxy, as you say, but it's going to be turned around now. SLG, Morga, Snakey, and Snakey and Cristola. That's a scary team.
Now that's a
scary team. But I mean, it is, isn't it? Some of the individual skill on this team cannot be overshadowed. And as you say, I just feel like this is the kind of team that are just going to get better and better as the more they play together.
Absolutely. With his team in journey, like I said, you've got 4 of some of the biggest main slayers. And if a team like that gels together and works really hard to actually try and gel as much as you can, it's going to be a potential even top 2 or even winning team.
Batchford, the B-Dog, the big B-Man. He's picking up kills, he's running flags, the return comes in, picks up another one, and that is going to be the first flag on the board. Batchford puts that one home, and that is going to be the DROUGHT who take the first flag home.
Yeah, railgun in the hands of Ramirez here too. Big win on top middle there for Morga. That's going to solidify his team's top middle control. In fact, everyone's just dropped off the top middle, so that's going to be Ramirez's home, and he knows SLG, his immediate intent is to start running this flag because of the fresh slays his team just got. But guess what? Now Ramirez's team has slays. What's Rami going to do? He's just going to get in a position to try and run this flag.
I'm not so sure about this play, though. I mean, fair enough if he's got a pistol, but he has the only power weapon on the map as well, and he's now turned it over to the side of the map that he did not want to. That's going to be gobbled up by SLG, and, I mean, if you haven't heard of this man, the Frenchman, Norman... Go on, Harry. Second name.
Le Gouloudet.
Thank you. If you haven't heard of this man by now and power weapons and how good he is individually, then, I mean, you've probably been under a rock for most of Halo 5. One of the standout players in Europe for sure, but now Ramirez has actually managed to grab the new railgun, and I believe that camo's popping as well. Yeah,
a lot of people were kind of questioning what SLG would do on an Infused lineup. I remember back in the day where there were rumors of him joining Team Infused, and that was a very exciting proposition, honestly, for SLG, because if he joins that lineup, I believe he would have been an instant success, and there's a lot of people still asking, you know, what if he had joined that Infused lineup? Now he's kind of leaving his French comrades behind. He's, you know, allowing himself to play with players who play differently to his French teammates or ex-teammates now, so it's going to be interesting to see if SLG can still find the same kind of success as he did back on Supremacy in that all-French lineup.
Snakey here playing very patiently with this camouflage. 3 of his teammates did die, so wanted to make sure that he did not make it known where he was. There's a player underneath him here. That is going to be Ramirez. I think he actually spotted him as well, because you can see Ramirez has dropped out the window there. Now playing with his life, and Ramirez almost landing some shots with that light rifle, and that's going to light up Snakey. Snakey takes the battle. Snakey actually does win the battle, but Ramirez did a great job there to make sure the player was there to trade that kill out, and that was Batchford. He did manage to trade that one.
Most certainly. Batchford again trying to win another 1v1. Cristola will trade that one off. We haven't seen too much of Chris's POV, so we'll see a little bit of that a bit later on, but we'll stay on the POV of Morga. He goes down again. We talk about this area of the map on Fathom. It's so important to stay alive and milk time for your team. As a result of Ramirez doing that, 3 slays come in from his team, DROUGHT. And now it's Soaring on the back foot, trapped in their own base, and they need to fight out in around the next 20 seconds or so, because you see that railgun coming up and the camouflage coming up soon after. So they can't be trapped in this base for an extended period of time. They have to get the first kill like they did on Bashford just then, and then push out. But Flux with 2, that's a huge amount of slays. About to be a fresh 4 down, and this should be a run right here from Flux.
This is one of the things I spoke about as well. We've got 3 in-game leaders, and I spoke about on the other series where like you've got to be careful when they're in engine and waiting. You had 3 of them waiting, making sure they try and bait them out, which is perfect, because that way they made that same decision, and look, straight away another cap, 2-0.
2-0, Snaky picking up kills with the railgun. Always so much easier to convert those slays when you had that power weapon on that run back. Player going to be behind him on the radar here. Does miss the beatdown, and Morga does pick up the kill. Now Morga's desperately trying to stay alive, but 2foxy's grenade is good and accurate enough to get him out of that small door. Now we're going to see some top middle control being established here by the blue squad. Cristola putting some shots down, putting lots of shots down on those players, and we see them all grouped up in the gen, playing their lives. But SLG, he's managed to find himself a railgun and also a camouflage.
Yeah, very good job there from Soaring. I mean, fair enough, they are down 2-0 in this game, but we spoke about them. You know, they gave out the flag capture, but at least they fought out of the base and got some top middle control after that run happened, and they have, as a result, camouflage railgun. If they get a capture out of this, which they need to, honestly, you can't be 2-0 down with camo rail and not get a flag capture on the board, but if they do, they have a lifeline in this game. Don't forget, still 7 minutes left in this game, so they do need a flag capture pretty soon, but you'd like to see them capitalize off of that power weapon control, which they do not, and now it's in the hands of Bashford.
Bashford, the man from Scotland, going to be pushing across the map now. Looking for any of these players. Knows that SLG will be coming off the respawn because, of course, he just took that weapon out of his hand. So good awareness of player positions on the map there from Bashford. 2foxy and Cristola pick up kills for their respective teams. And much like we see on Fathom quite a lot, a battle for that top middle area. We're going to see the push coming in on the base now. SOG does get that pull, but Bashford is in a good position to potentially stop this one. Picks up the back smack there. Now he's looking to finish off this kill on Morga. Nice rotations back from Bashford. He's going to get the return, and with his team 2-0 up, that's pretty much exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, now Soaring have a very strange position to put themselves in, because fair enough, they have the man advantage, but they have the flag out of the base due to DROUGHT. So Soaring have to worry about this flag, and Bashford's allowed to grab that one, and it's just as easy as that. The flag's back on their side of the map. Now they have to get slays around this. That's the first slay on Cristola, second and third go in favor of SLG. So this should be a return coming in here from Soaring. Good opportunity there from the DROUGHT, but unfortunately could not get the slays to complement the flag run.
Yeah, SLG putting the railgun to use now. He's going to pick up another kill here on Flux. There is another player on the porch. That's 2foxy's looking for that triple. Narrowly misses it. 2foxy's going to be in that porch doorway, but manages to somehow stay alive there. 2-0 the score though. 5.5 minutes left on the clock. Cristola has managed to steal away a camouflage now. This is a real opportunity here for the blue squad to try and get something going. Soaring need to get in that base, use that camo to pick up those kills, because they need to get those flag pulls because they are down by 2.
Yeah, 2 objectives right here for Cristola. Either get a flag run on the board or try and find Flux. Flux has actually just gone down, as you see in the kill feed. He can't die from Perry right there, and he does not. He gets the kill on 2foxy. Running flag with camo is always dangerous, especially if he doesn't get the slide off. He's actually not going to run it through middle into that grenade. He's going to try and get it over to the silo side, but as you can see, as that platform depressingly goes down slowly, that flag run is all but gone there for Soaring. Good idea, but unfortunately the slays just didn't come in quick enough. It was depressing, wasn't it?
It went down like a Radiohead album. It was
like a deflated balloon.
Snaky jumping top middle now. Gonna have a player no shields in front of him. That should be easy pickings. Finds a double here. Playing team SWAT up top mid. Takes on Flux as well, looking for that triple kill. But Flux does back him down, but does get that grenade off. So that's going to be 3 kills in a row here. Can he take down Bashford as well? Bashford with the shots, but Snaky is on a bit of a tear at the moment, and now he's moving in on that objective. Misses the beatdown on Ramirez, but picks up another kill. That's a killing spree here for Snaky, doing all sorts of work for his squad, but so again, nobody really in position to get a pull on that flag and convert those kills into flag capture opportunities. Yeah,
the problem here, though, for the DROUGHT is the fact that the railgun's coming up. Bashford knows this, but look, he has to contest 2 players because his teammates just went down. As a result, Cristola with the railgun, he can immediately transition to top middle. Don't forget that camouflage pretty late here on this map. It's coming up around 28, so a bit of a top middle fight for the next 30 or so seconds we'll see from both teams, as you see 2 players on the red outlines trying to contest that area of the map.
And this is what I mean about Soaring as well, is the fact that they're not gelling that well. You know, yeah, sure, fair enough, they're getting some slays here and there. We saw SLG play really well with that almost triple with the rail, but you saw that, like, you know, it wasn't really pushing for the objective. He was just sitting there and getting the slays, but it wasn't actually pushing as he was doing it. They all seem to be doing their own thing and, like, you know, trying to win these 1v1, 1v2 battles. But you can see from here, look, as you can see with the DROUGHT, you know, they're actually pushing together as a 3, as a 4 all the time, everyone on the map. But, you know, yeah, sure, fair enough, you can go behind them and you can flank and get that kill. But at the end of the day, you know, if you're not good pushing for the objective and you're just going to sit around holding positions which are pointless, you know, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, a lot of onus on Cristola here to make a play with this railgun. We see Ramirez is going to fly past him with that flag. Ramirez is almost gone as well. The ground pound might come in, does miss it though. Unfortunately for Ramirez, Cristola puts the star onto him to make the point. Flux is going to challenge him as well. Cristola jumps back out and finishes the kill. Now we're going to see a player jump on the return, but no! It's Batchford, the hero again! Manages to get the touch on that flag. Player desperately trying to stop this one. They have got it in the gen. Batchford's going to win the game here, and Batchford puts his team 1-0 up in the series as they take Fathom catch with the flag, 3-0.
So many times in that game, we saw Soaring get slays across the board and then just do nothing with them. Amazing play at the end of the game for Ramirez to get that flag on the move, and Batchford 27 and 18 as well as that fantastic flag capture at the end. Praise his teammates though, look at these assists. I mean, fair enough, Batchford's the one doing the listening and the cleaning up. He's going to look great at the end of the day, but check out 17 assists from Flux, 16 from 2Foxy. A great game all round from DROUGHT, and we'll check out the damage dealt. Batchford, not even the most damage dealt in the game. It was actually Flux right there with the most, and Snaky was again second most. So
it's quite worrying because, you know, that was a very convincing 3-0, but slaying-wise, there was only a 6-kill difference. So with that, it should have been 1 or 2, at least a kind of 3-2 kind of scenario. But so many times I saw someone getting a load of kills, and then they would basically not go for the flag and just hope someone else gets it. They try and, like, put a bit of faith in each other, but they realise that all their movement-wise, in terms of how they play and how they push in, none of them are doing it. Yeah, sure, fair enough. Like, you know, you can make these cool plays of, like, getting behind the top mid, then get a few rails and stuff, but it's going to make no effect at all whatsoever. And when you've got a team like the DROUGHT, where basically they're playing really well, they're really well gelled, really well coordinated, and you saw that they knew their own engine, so all 3 of them were in courtyard waiting for him to make the first move. And it makes you wonder, really, like, this team, I'm hoping it's not like the XL from last season, where they were basically a bit, you know, unorthodox in terms of, like, how they'll progress in the future going into the event. But it looks like with 2Foxy, another person who's a very good shot caller and a good player might actually help out for this squad.
I think one thing you have to look at there, you've probably got 3 of the most objectively efficient players in Europe on one team. So on a flag game type, you know they're going to get those flag pulls. You know they're going to be looking for those runs all the time. Stick Batchford alongside them when he's just walking around cleaning up kills. Yeah. If he just does his job. I mean, the thing I love about those stats that we saw there is the composition of the stats. We see a lot of assists coming in from 3 of the players and a lot of kills coming in from 1.
Yeah, a lot of kills on the side of Soaring too, but when you get those slays, it really should swing the momentum of the map in your team's favor. There were so many kills they got that just didn't do that really on Fathom. It's so important you do that. We see that with teams like Infused, who, you know, when they get kills, they immediately try and put the onus on you, and that's exactly what should happen on Fathom, but didn't happen that time around from Soaring. That's a game type they're going to have to go back and look at.
Well, we're moving into Slayer Truth now. In our second semi-final, of course, Team Infused are waiting in the final for the winner of this match. TacMag bottom mid, 40 seconds respawn on that one, and of course the camouflage, which was pretty much which won Team Infused the game earlier on against Vex. The Evi are going to be absolutely vital. Starting this one up with Flux though, he's going to be pushing the pressure onto P1, and he should get himself a camo.
Yeah, that nade needs to be absolutely perfect from Snaky and SLG, and they land both of their nades, and that's the camouflage out of the game. That's pretty much what should happen here on Truth. When we saw Vex go up against Infused, Jimbo was able to grab the first camo of the game and get out of there scot-free, and that's instantly a camouflage player you have to worry about right off the bat. This is much better from these 2 teams. Obviously, one team trying to get away with it with the DROUGHT, but it was good prioritization there from Soaring to take that camouflage player down.
Yeah, because you saw how much damage Jimbo did with that camo last time. It was a complete game changer, and he abused it so well. And the good thing about Flux is the fact that even though he died with camo, he managed to delay it enough just so that Batchford could at least get a kill or two on that blue side. But what you've got to watch now is the fact that they got to make sure they don't get pinned on Carbine side, and I think that DROUGHT need to make sure they do push out. But, you know, it's not the sort of game type they will enjoy due to the fact that the slaying power is very significant compared to the team of SOARING.
Let's see what Morgan can do there. This is a map that he is pretty comfortable on, as we say, a lot of FFA success for this man. Done a lot of it on Truth as well. He's going to be pushing into P2 now. That power position on the map finds Ramirez off guard here. Doesn't quite clean that kill up, but Batchford's going to be taken down. Nice shots from Morgan. I like the confidence from him there. Not backing down from that battle, backing himself to hit those shots, and that is exactly what he did as the score is now 11-7.
Yeah, big fight here on P2. He will trade it out. Crystola did grab top middle control for SOARIng here too, and they're up 13-9 right now. Bit of a scrappy game so far. Haven't really seen either team try and trap the enemy team in a certain spawn, so it's going to be an interesting camouflage fight coming up. These next round of slays are going to be huge, because if you get these slays and you spawn manipulate properly, you can get the enemy team spawning so far away from that camo, and that's going to be a free camouflage in your favor.
It's very, very true. Batchford once again picking up kills here for his team, and the DROUGHT here seem to be clicking quite nicely. Yes, they are down by 4 kills, but on Truth, as you say, not a big swing whatsoever, and I believe Batchford just about managed to get the burn off on that camo as well. So although he was taken down, he's going to make sure that that doesn't go into the hands of their opposition here. 2Foxy now. A lot of talk about this player. Obviously been involved in a lot of drama through EU Halo in the last few weeks or so, but let's stay on his board with him through the respawn. As do like to stay on board with 2Foxy and see exactly what he's going to do, because as you say, coming back into the game, hasn't played it for a while, but has put in some performances and is still one of those players in Europe who is renowned across the globe.
And I'm going to hate on Perry a little bit right here, because I honestly believe he was the reason that Batchford didn't get away with that last camouflage. 2Foxy was unfortunately fighting over at the Carbine Tower, and that allowed the enemy team to spawn in blue. They pushed out the pink side of the map from blue, and then were able to nade Batchford into oblivion. Batchford gets killed, and no camouflage for the DROUGHT. So if 2Foxy, again, whether it's a call from a teammate, whether it's something, just unblock Carbine, let them spawn there, nade blue, something like that. You've got to spawn manipulate when that camouflage is coming up in order to get away with the camouflage. But it's not done too much of a detriment to his team. They're only down by 1 now. They were down by, what, 4 just a moment ago. So very good plays here from the DROUGHT in the end.
Yeah, 22-23. They have managed to pull it back. Arkel, a.k.a. Snakey, does manage to stay alive as 2Foxy was trying to take him down. SLG comes in to finish that one off, and we're seeing a little kill lead once again open up, and we're seeing the players here for the DROUGHT stuck in that red base. It's Ramirez who's trying to make the push out, and these are the kind of plays that we don't talk about from Ramirez. Yes, he got a kill there. He might be taken down in a trade scenario here, but he's actually done fantastically well to stay alive, and that has opened up the map for the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, absolutely has. Now they're wondering, oh, where's Ramirez? And this is what we're talking about. They're trapped at Carbine, and this should be easy slays. As soon as they hear the nades coming in, there you go. There's a 2-for-1 trade right there on the Carbine Tower. If you are ever in Carbine without a base on this map, you are doing something wrong. And that's exactly why they just went from 1 down to 1 up in this game.
Yeah, it's perfect by them as well. All 4 of them knew they were in trouble in the base. And as soon as they made a couple wicket pink, Rami knew straight away to go straight to top mid, try and be the entry frag, or at least become some kind of distraction. But now it's kind of, you could say, in a stalemate situation. You know, cameras up, Batchford will try his best to abuse it as he can, but sadly one does get away. But it looks like
baby,
still doesn't.
He's still alive.
I know, and Batchford's still trying to stay alive, but just barely dies by a few seconds. This is a shame, but it was good play by Batchford nevertheless.
Yeah, again, that's one of those situations. You get a trade in that situation, you are more than happy. You're a massive disadvantage in the fight. Down shots, down positioning, somehow managed to get that kill. So good play from Batchford there, and it's little things like that can really swing a game here for the DROUGHT. 33-27 now. Now we're seeing them start to get on a roll. Ramirez, Batchford with a double again as Flux is just moving around the Carbine side of the match here. He's going to be taking down Crystola, and now he's going to be just desperately trying to stay alive, calling this respawn out to his teammates as they're going to be coming, pushing through onto that bubble and trying to clean those kills up.
Yeah, I swapped over to 2Foxy right there. He was going to be the key player to come around and pinch from behind the enemy team, but Yeah, it's just a fantastic play once again from the DROUGHT, and what a difference a camouflage makes. It was Bashford who grabbed the camouflage, stayed alive, milked his life for as long as possible, and a good 3 down here right now for Soaring. That's going to help them out, try and close this deficit, but you've got to say, the objective for them right now, try and even up this scoreline before the next camouflage comes up. Slays in the next 30 or so seconds going to be very important, and it looks like Snakey is the man leading the charge right now on P3. I still have nightmares playing this man on Halo 3, by the way.
I'd forgotten. I genuinely got that out of my head.
P3, this man was an absolute beast. If you saw him up there, you need to get him down instantly. And honestly, the DROUGHT have not done that. All of a sudden, they're going to be trapped at the Carbine tower right here. You see on the red outlines, they're spawning at Carbine. Snakey knows that. Camouflage coming up. Now it's all on the DROUGHT, like we speak about, to try and push into a base. They need to be decisive right here and try and get over to P1 for this camouflage coming up very soon.
2 players, no shields, bottom mid. Both of them managed to get away. That was Bashford and 2Foxy. Now you're going to see them all rotating back, but it looks like the guys on Soaring, they're set up for that camo. SLG has managed to get away with that, and with just 2 kills between these teams, if SLG can use this one effectively, they could well see themselves tying up this series. He's going to be moving now towards the Carbine side of the map. 2Foxy does pick up a kill. Bashford picks up another kill, and all of this time, his teammates are just getting slaughtered here by the guys. The red squad, SLG, finally makes his move, takes down 1. Can he win this battle against Flux? This is a huge battle to win. Ramirez is going to challenge him, finds 2, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. They take him out, 41-44 the score. Was that a big enough play with that camo?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you've got to pick your fights if you're SLG. Luckily, he knows Ramirez has no shields in that certain scenario, so not the worst player 2-for-1 trade, but we said the objective for Soaring was even up the game coming into that camouflage. SLG gets the camo. They're still only down by 1, so much better by them, but this actually could be a very advantageous position for them to be in, because now look, you see in the red outlines, they're trapped at Carbine Tower. If they get naded, and all that has to happen here is damage to come in from Snakey's teammates. There's no damage to be found. He's shot in the back. Bashford's the hero right now on this map. We've barely seen any of his POV, and every time we see the kill feed, it's Bashford getting a kill.
And it's just
baby.
the fact that the coordination of his team is just not that great at the moment. And even though SOG did okay with camo getting a 2-for-1 trade, he needed to abuse it a lot more to at least stop this deficit. We've only 3 kills left, and 2 trapped on P3 now. It looks like it could go either way after that kill from Bash.
Oh, 2Foxy manages to pick up a huge kill though on Morga and establish P2 control as well. Ramirez is going to be no shields, but he somehow manages to stay alive. Just 1 more kill here. SLG could be toast. Can he finish this kill? He gets the trade, and it is going to be 50-47. 2-0 up now. DROUGHT, the beautifully named DROUGHT, as Ramirez, 2Foxy, Flux, and the man Bashford once again take that second game. Looking at the stats there, 17-11 for 2Foxy. Once again, Bashford high up on the kills, high up on the deaths as well, but Ramirez,
assists?
I mean, hello.
Hello?
There's nothing that gets me going more than a good assist column, you know that.
24 kills he's contributing to right there. You see him at the bottom of the scoreboard, you're thinking, wow, Rami's had a terrible game. Well, guess what? He was contributing to 24 kills. That was more than 2Foxy.
That's almost half the kills for his team.
That's good mathematics right there. Proud of you.
But that's crazy as well, because 48 assists between them all, and you can tell that their teamwork and coordination just seems to be so much better. Don't get me wrong, Soaring's slaying ability and their individual skill is on another level, but you've got to remember, they've only been together for the last few days, but you could say the same for the DROUGHT though. They haven't been together for long either. But, you know, there was some camo plays where it was questionable, but, you know, going for a 2-for-1 like you can see here wasn't too bad, but I don't think you should try and do something with camo when you've got 3 people literally staring at you.
I just feel that he didn't do enough damage with that camo. I mean, he waited for that to try and make that play, but I feel like his teammates dropping around him, that made it very difficult for him, yes, but there was a period of about 15 to 20 seconds before that where he could have done more with that camouflage, in my opinion. So that was where I feel they had their chance to win that game, and I feel like SLG just didn't make enough of that.
I mean, true. It was kind of an unfortunate situation to find himself in. I mean, he was moving front base. I think his intention initially was to try and get up onto top middle and do damage from there. But the problem is he saw players already on top middle flying into the base. All of a sudden, he had to second guess himself, like, should I be going to the base and helping my teammates out? But I got to praise the gameplay actually from the DROUGHT at the end of that game. I mean, the score, let's put you back in the situation. The score is 47-44 in your team's favor. You know the enemy team wants to slow the game down and try and get slays when that camouflage is coming up. They're going to be waiting for that opportune moment. Let's speed the game up. Let's push forward. You know, you find 2 people on P3, we melt them, and they're only 1 kill away at that point from ending the game. And it was really well played. Good situational awareness from them right there.
Now we're moving on to Strongholds on the Rig as our next game. Lethal, what are you thinking about this one? Obviously, DROUGHT one game away from closing out this series and jumping into that grand final for that match with Infused. Do you feel like the guys on the blue squad, the Soaring squad, are going to bring this one back?
I don't think they will, I'm afraid. I have seen them play against Vexed and they got toppled massively. In ball, they're not too bad. They're actually the complete opposite in this kind of scenario. But with this DROUGHT squad, my God, like their coordination and their teamwork right now seems to be on point, and they seem to plan any kind of situation perfectly, depending on what's actually happening in terms of what's going on the map. But we'll find out now in this game 3.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on the young man Batchford in this one again, because obviously his teammates are going to be objectively efficient as possible. Finally put my teeth in there to finally get that sentence out. But if they can do that, Batchford's going to have a responsibility of listening and cleaning up all of those kills created by his teammates. We're going to see no strongholds actually being captured. Finally, the basement will be captured early on, but not sure if anyone picked up that camo, but Cristola has that railgun, and he puts it to use, putting Flux to sleep.
Yeah, I'm not too sure actually where the camouflage went. I thought it was Batchford who had it, but I guess not. Maybe it was burned at the start of the game. Cristola does have the railgun, though. He's the main player on the map right now, as his teammate did just die with a scatter shot as well. So it's going to be a power weapon each right here, as Flux picks up the scatter shot from Snakey's body. Cristola now has this railgun to work with. Not really doing too much with it right now, though. This kill on Ness would be nice to grab, but does with that as well. So let's see if he can make it 1 out of 3 with these railgun shots. See ya.
Another player goes diving off the map. Somebody said something mean to him, didn't want to be a part of this anymore. Batchford does win a big battle against Cristola again, and Batchford just seems to be winning so many battles at the moment. He's going to be looking for the triple cap as well. He's now going to be pushing barrels. Not sure if his teammates are coordinating a push with him or if this is a solo push. It looks like they're trying to pitch in from either side. Batchford picks up one. Can he pick up a second here? Cristola go for the ground pound, but Batchford with the beautiful shots to take that player down. Another player in front of him. Batchford with all the battles in the world in front of him does the damage, and that is going to be a reset potentially coming in here. They do secure the basement stronghold once again, and a triple cap now in fact for the red team.
Dude, the confidence from Batchford is sickening.
I love it.
He sees Cristola above him ground pounding. Does he thrust out the way? Nah, dude, I'm a stand here.
Who do you think you are? Like, essentially what he's saying is he's charging that one up. Takes him out of the game, no problem at all. Batchford, confidence never been a problem with this player. We've seen him perform already at some of the events that he's been to. Can't remember him putting in a bad performance, if I'm honest. Very confident player, very solid shot. I think this is maybe the team that he needed to get on just to push his game to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this is more like the 2016 Batchford we used to see. Because I remember speaking to him a few months back during the off-season, and he wasn't really too sure about his future on how he wants to progress with Halo. But I said to him, you know what, wait till the new season starts, give it a few months, and then you should be okay, as long as you put that dedication you did in like back 2 years ago. And he has done, and it's really, really shown, especially in this series.
4 down momentarily for Soaring. SLG the first off the respawn, but we saw Cristola grab the camouflage and try and get up to E2, but Flux was already aware of that. So really nothing going in the favor of Soaring right now. The strongholds are not going their way. Power, weapon control is at the moment in the hands of Flux. No railgun on the map. Just the scatter shot in Flux's back pocket as he whips it out, and Chris again trying to make plays to E2, but Flux is already on his case. He's going to have nightmares tonight about Flux trying to get up to that E2 area.
Well, it's interesting that we talk about Flux because we saw in the last qualifiers for HCS London here at the Gfinity Arena some of the massive games that Flux had on this particular map, especially in the Slayer game types. He was doing all sorts of damage, picking up monstrous amounts of kills, and once again you can just see how much damage he's dealing with his teammates as well. He lands the beatdown on SLG and smartly backs up. He's looking for the reset on that nest. It looks like the players here from Soaring are going to soar right towards him, but that reset could well come in, and it is going to come in from Flux. So not only kills, objective at the forefront of his mind, gets that reset. They're going to keep scoring. The score 54-8.
Oh, this is just brilliant. Brilliant teamwork all around. I mean, we saw Snakey on the player outlines flying to try and finish off that nest stronghold for his team. Ramirez picks him up, and then Flux just finishes off Morga, who's trying to be Snakey's blocker. And it's just fabulous coordination. You can tell they're so well coordinated, the DROUGHT team. We did have questions going into this series about how they would play as a team, given there are so many shot callers on this squad. So far on Rig Strongholds, one of the game types you have to be the most decisive on. They are doing just fine.
And during those 2 minutes, Flux's damage dealing was remarkable. He was literally in Whitehall every single time. But not only was he damage dealing, he was always peeking out, trying to get some info here and there to shot call for the next time his opponent, or at least his teammates, can actually push round. And he was doing it every single time. He's one of the best players when it comes to holding Whitehall in this game so far, especially in Europe.
Batchford picking up kills once again, has that railgun, and I love what I saw there from DROUGHT. Yes, they allowed their opposition Soaring to recapture that basement off of the respawn, didn't push it too hard, waited until they got some shots, got some map a positional advantage to make sure they could guarantee those kills, and now they have recaptured it. Bachelor does get taken down by SOG, but Flux trades it out. 70-18 the score now. 2 down for either squad. That is actually 3 down now. Ramirez, last player alive for his team. Morgan going to be trying to capture that basement. Does get that one, but interesting to see. Again, one thing that always stands out to me when you're looking at how objectively efficient potentially a team are is there 2 players in those strongholds? Are they capturing them as quickly as they possibly can? Morgan had to capture that basement all on his own, and those little slithers of time can come back to bite you later in the game.
Yeah, just like then. They just went 4 down because Morgan had no time to push out of that stronghold. Like you said, he had to solo cap that for such a long time. That's just a lack of coordination and really sloppy objective play. Like you say, objective efficiency on this map is absolutely vital, and you can see that right now
there's the difference.
Soaring is paying the price for sloppy objective work.
Now it's going to be Batchford. Oh, beautiful shot to Cristola there. And look at the collapse once again coming in here from the DROUGHT. Perfect strongholds play from them. Batchford is going to leave, but there is a teammate there. As you can see, a double cap to at least 3/4 of that stronghold. Now they're allowed to move around the map. Batchford just going to milk here for his team. If he can land this shot, beautiful play from Batchford. Land a few to him, Batchy boy. Let him know this game is pretty much over. 95-20, the triple cap in effect. Turn around and give it to him, Batch. Go on, give him another scat shot. Let him a lesson. That's going to be the game, and not only that, I believe the series going to DROUGHT 100-20, and boy, did they look good.
Yeah, it's so convincing from this squad as well. We knew that they'll be half decent because the amount of talent you have in terms of the in-game leadership, but just overall in this game, it really shows a comparison of 4 Slayers just jumping in one team and another team where you have the chemistry of the duo Rami into Foxy, and then you've got the other duo of obviously Batch and Flux.
Check out the slays from Flux, 14-7, 15-9 from Batchford. But let's check out the objective work. Ramirez almost breaking double-digit captures, and 2 Foxy had double Batchford's captures, if you look at it that way, but just the 4 from him.
Yeah, but Batchford, stronghold defenses, I'm always looking at that. Nice job from him. We saw some big plays from him, getting those clutch doubles when he really, really needed to. Let's have a quick look at the replays from that last one. I love this. The confidence just to pick Cristola out of the air. Unbelievable shots from him, but this was domination. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. They played this so much better than Soaring. They had so many more kills. They had better rotations, and they just generally played strongholds so much better. Yeah,
felt like we were on their point of view for half of the game as well. Just purely because the flow of the game was going in their favor, right? And when you're on the same page on rig, that's generally what seems to happen. You know, you grab more power-ups than the enemy team, you start flanking around more, you get a little bit more freedom, you start to find spaces where there shouldn't really be spaces when you're going up against top-tier teams. So we saw that a lot from individual players in that game, namely Flux, when he was dealing so much damage around E2 and just giving Cristola nightmares. You know, when you're going up against a team like Team Infused, you don't really see that kind of thing happening for a prolonged period of time.
Have we just seen the emergence of a mental block? I think we might have.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
All right, well, we're going to have a quick look, map by map at that series, just to have a quick look back and summarize exactly what we saw. Obviously, we started off on Fathom, and we didn't see a replay. We saw a pretty clean sweep.
No, it was nice. It made a nice change not seeing another replay after the 2 from previously earlier. But yeah, it was very convincing. It's like I said before, the slaying power wasn't really that different in comparison. They only had 6 more kills, but it shouldn't have been a 3-0 with that much slaying. And you can see that with the Soaring squad, they would get a few kills, but they'll still hover around courtyard. They should be pushing in as they're getting the kills, but you can see they didn't seem to really care, and they're treating it more like a slaying game type. But even then, there wasn't really that many kills in comparisons anyways.
I've just noticed something.
Go on, what's that?
They managed to get something about Dad in.
Yeah, I did.
Geniuses. They're geniuses.
That's
Ramirez is a genius.
Well played.
Well,
that's
I'll take my hat off to you, Andy. Calculated dad play there. But anyway, just moving on to Truth. Strong plays from then again, but I think that was a much closer game where we saw the individual Slayers maybe step up for Soaring there on that Slayer game type. But again, just the teamwork too much.
Yeah, I think so. The coordination from the DROUGHT, or Dad, as we're calling him now,